A work zone. A. May be moving or stationary. B. Is marked with black and white signs. C. Does not require a driver to slow down and pay extra attention. D. All of the above. A. May be moving or stationary. Work zones are often stationary, but they may also be present in the form of moving vehicles striping lines, mowing, or removing snow. Work zones are marked by orange signs with black lettering or symbols. Slow down and pay extra attention when approaching or driving through a work zone. Other than by your turn signals, other motorists can sometimes determine your intention to turn by A. Your vehicle position and eye contact. B. The turning of your wheels. C. Your slowing at the corner. D. The actions of the car behind you. A. Your vehicle position and eye contact. You must warn other drivers that you are going to change direction with your vehicle position and eye contact. Eye contact and vehicle position should be in addition to properly using your turn signals. Many crashes are caused by A. Drivers traveling too fast for conditions. B. Drivers consistently checking their mirrors and blind spots. C. Drivers yielding the right-of-way. D. Drivers maintaining a 4-second following distance. A. Drivers traveling too fast for conditions. Many crashes are caused by drivers who are driving too fast for conditions. Always drive within the legal speed limits and decrease your speed anytime conditions are less than perfect. A driver who is taking a non-prescription drug should A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. B. Drink alcohol instead. C. Continue to drive regardless of any warning labels. D. Drive only during daylight hours. A. Read the labels on the drug before driving. Many over-the-counter medications can affect your ability to drive safely. If you take medication, even a remedy for colds or allergies that is not prescribed, check the label for warnings about its effects. If you are unsure, ask your doctor or pharmacist about driving while on the medication.
Want to ace your DMV test? Click on the link below and get your guaranteed cheat sheet.
This sign means A. Crossroad ahead. B. Flagger ahead. C. Lane ends. D. Turn right or go straight. A. Crossroad ahead. Warning signs prepare drivers for upcoming road conditions and hazards and are usually yellow with black markings. This sign alerts drivers to an upcoming intersection. It is illegal for a person 21 years of age or older to drive with a minimum blood alcohol concentration (BAC) of A. 0.05%, B. 0.08%, C. 0.02%, D. 0.1%, B. 0.08%. For drivers age 21 or older, it is illegal to operate a motor vehicle with a blood alcohol concentration (BAC) of 0.08% or higher. Driving while under the influence of alcohol is not only illegal, but dangerous. When you hear the siren or see the flashing lights of an approaching emergency vehicle, you must A. Slow down until it passes you. B. Drive to the right side of the road and stop. C. Motion for the emergency vehicle to pass you. D. Merge into the right lane and continue driving. B. Drive to the right side of the road and stop. Yield the right-of-way to any approaching emergency vehicle that is using its flashing lights or siren, regardless of its direction of travel. You must immediately drive to the right side of the road and stop until the emergency vehicle has passed. If you are within an intersection, pass through the intersection before coming to a stop on the right side of the road. This road sign means A. Your current roadway ends ahead. B. You must bear either right or left. C. A four-way intersection is ahead. D. A road joins from the right. B. You must bear either right or left. This sign indicates that there is a Y intersection ahead. You must bear either to the right or to the left. Highway hypnosis is a driving condition that can result from A. Staring at the roadway for long periods of time. B. Frequent rest stops. C. Too much sleep the night before your trip. D. Short trips on expressways. If your wheels drop off the pavement and onto the shoulder of the road, you should A. Brake hard and turn sharply back onto the pavement. B. Stop your car on the edge of the road. C. Slow down and very carefully turn back onto the pavement. D. Maintain your speed and turn sharply back onto the pavement. C. Slow down and very carefully turn back onto the pavement. If your wheels drop off the pavement and onto a low shoulder, you should reduce your speed without braking and very carefully turn back onto the pavement. Be aware of any nearby traffic when re-entering the road. What should you do when you are going to enter a roadway from a private road? A. Blow your horn to warn cars you are entering the roadway. B. Stop with part of your car on the roadway to alert other drivers. C. Drive out fast to merge smoothly with the traffic. D. Yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. D. Yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and roadway traffic. When entering a roadway from a driveway or private road, you must yield the right-of-way to pedestrians and traffic on the roadway. To avoid being in a truck or bus driver's blind spot, you should A. Never pass them. B. Avoid driving alongside them and avoid tailgating. C. Flash your lights at them. D. Sound your horn. The no zone is A. A term used to describe blind spots around a truck or bus. B. A special speed zone. C. A roadway with restrictions on vehicle stereo volume. D. The television show that replaced the Twilight Zone. A. A term used to describe blind spots around a truck or bus. A truck or bus has blind spots on each side, in the rear, and in the front. An automobile cannot be seen in these blind spots. These blind spots are referred to as the no zone. You are driving at night and another vehicle is approaching from the opposite direction. Your headlights? A. Should be on their high beam setting. B. Should be on their low beam setting. C. Should be off. Use your parking lights. D. May be on either their high or low beam setting. B. Should be on their low beam setting. Do not use your high beam headlights when approaching or following another vehicle at night. Switch to the low beam setting to ensure the safety of everyone on the road. As you near an intersection, the traffic light changes from green to yellow. Your best action is to A. Speed up to beat the red light. B. Apply the brakes sharply to stop. C. Be prepared to stop in the center of the intersection. D. Be prepared to stop before the intersection. D. Be prepared to stop before the intersection. A steady yellow traffic light indicates that the light will soon change to red. You should be prepared to stop for the red light, if it is safe to do so. You must yield for emergency vehicles? A. Under no circumstances. B. When you see a flashing red or blue light or hear a siren. C. Only when other vehicles yield. D. None of the above. B. When you see a flashing red or blue light or hear a siren. You must yield the right of way to any emergency vehicle that is using its siren or flashing lights. When approaching railroad tracks, you should A. Look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop. B. Speed up to cross the tracks before the gate is lowered. C. Try to drive around a lowered gate. D. Not pay attention to how many tracks there are to cross. A. Look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop. When approaching railroad tracks, you should look, listen, slow down, and be prepared to stop for trains or other vehicles that may be using the rails. You are approaching a railroad crossing that has no visible gates or flashing lights, but has a standard crossbuck. You should A. Approach all tracks with extreme caution and cross only when you know that there is no train coming. B. Turn your radio down to hear if there may be an approaching train. C. Only continue once cleared to do so by a flagger, if applicable. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. You must approach all railroad crossings with extreme caution and cross only when you know that no train is coming from either direction. If there is a flagger at a crossing, you must obey all of their instructions. It is permissible to drive a motor vehicle on the left of a highway center line. A. When overtaking and passing another vehicle, if passing is permitted. B. When you have 500 feet of clear road ahead and to the rear. C. When the shoulder of the road is rough and the ditch is deep. D. Any time the road is clear of vehicles coming from the opposite direction. A. When overtaking and passing another vehicle, if passing is permitted. A driver may cross the centerline of a roadway when overtaking and passing another vehicle. However, the driver should be aware that they are not permitted to pass over a solid yellow line or in any other no-passing zone. A driver approaching a flashing red traffic signal must A. Slow down at the light. B. Drive carefully without stopping. C. Merge to the right. D. Stop before entering the intersection. D. Stop before entering the intersection. A flashing red light means that you must stop, yield to traffic and pedestrians, and go only when it is safe. At a railroad crossing, a flashing red light indicates that a train is approaching. Yield to the train, and go only when the lights have stopped flashing and all other active warning devices deactivate. When turning or changing lanes, you must A. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. B. Signal only if there is visible traffic. C. Signal only when driving at night. D. Signal only when driving in heavy traffic at night. A. Always signal your intentions, even when no visible traffic is present. Always signal your intentions when changing lanes, turning, or pulling away from a curb. Do not allow yourself to become lazy and form the bad habit of not following this law. When you see this sign, it means A. There is an object on the roadway. B. Traffic is coming from the right. C. The road is curving sharply to the left. D. There is a merge point ahead. C. The road is curving sharply to the left. Chevron signs like this indicate that the road curves sharply in the direction indicated by the chevron, in this case, to the left. There may be several chevron signs placed throughout a curve. You are approaching an intersection when the traffic light changes from green to solid yellow. You should A. Consider it the same as a caution sign and continue through the intersection. B. Stop immediately. C. Stop before entering the intersection, unless you are too close to stop safely. D. Speed up to get through the intersection before the red light appears. C. Stop before entering the intersection, unless you are too close to stop safely. When approaching an intersection with a solid yellow traffic light, slow to a stop before entering the intersection, if it is safe to do so. If you can't stop safely, drive carefully through the intersection. How can you help prevent rear-end collisions? A. Avoid sudden stops. B. Before stopping, check your mirrors and blind spots for traffic. C. Release the gas pedal and let your vehicle slow before applying the brakes. D. All of the above. D. All of the above. Stopping suddenly can make it difficult for drivers behind you to avoid a rear-end collision. When stopping, release the accelerator to allow your vehicle to slow. Press the brake pedal by applying steady pressure, activating your brake lights and causing the vehicle to stop smoothly. To pass a slower-moving vehicle on a two-lane, two-way road, you must A. Not cross the center line. B. Flash your lights at oncoming traffic. C. Use the shoulder. D. Use the lane that belongs to oncoming traffic. D. Use the lane that belongs to oncoming traffic. Passing on a two-lane, two-way road requires good judgment because you must use the lane belonging to oncoming traffic to complete your pass. Only pass if you may safely and legally do so. When making a turn, you must fill in the blank your speed. A. Increase. B. Maintain. C. Vary. D. Reduce. D. Reduce. When turning, you should reduce to a speed that allows you to maintain control of your vehicle, stay in your lane, and react to unexpected situations. When two vehicles enter an intersection from different highways at the same time, which vehicle must yield the right-of-way? A. Either one. B. The vehicle on the left. C. The vehicle on the right. D. Neither. B. The vehicle on the left. At intersections that are controlled by signs or signals and at intersections that are uncontrolled, the driver on the left must yield the right-of-way to the driver on the right when two vehicles arrive to the intersection at the same time. What does a single dashed white line separating traffic mean? A. Drivers may pass, even if it could be dangerous. B. Lanes move in opposite directions. C. Drivers may not pass. D. Drivers may pass if it is safe to do so. D. Drivers may pass if it is safe to do so. White lines separate lanes of traffic that are moving in the same direction. Dashed white lines may be crossed to pass or change lanes, if it is safe to do so. When approaching a traffic signal displaying a steady yellow arrow, drivers A. should merge into a lane in the direction of the arrow. B. should slow to a stop, if it is safe to do so. C. may turn left after yielding to oncoming traffic and pedestrians. D. have the right of way and may expect oncoming traffic to stop for them. B. should slow to a stop, if it is safe to do so. A steady yellow arrow indicates that a red arrow is about to appear. Stop unless you are already within the intersection. If you want to get off the freeway but you have missed your exit, you should A. go to the next exit. B. make a U-turn through the median. C. pull onto the shoulder and back your car to the exit. D. flag down a police officer for an escort back to your exit. A. go to the next exit. If you miss your exit, you should take the next exit. Do not stop or back up on the highway, swerve across multiple lanes to try to make the exit at the last second, or cross over the median to turn around. All of these maneuvers are illegal and extremely dangerous. Highway markings A. are usually not important. B. are only found in construction zones. C. provide information for drivers. D. are usually red and blue in color. C. provide information for drivers. Highway markings provide information for drivers. Markings help drivers correctly position their vehicles on roadways, inform drivers of safe passing zones, and warn drivers about upcoming conditions. As alcohol builds up in your blood, it A. slows down your reactions. B. makes you feel less confident. C. begins to metabolize itself more quickly. D. decreases the number of driving errors. A. slows down your reactions. As alcohol builds up in your system, it will slow your reactions, make you feel more confident, and cause you to make more errors. Your blind spot is the area of the road. A. you cannot see without moving your head. B. directly behind your vehicle. C. you see in your rear view mirror. D. you see in your side mirror. A. you cannot see without moving your head. Blind spots are areas that a driver cannot see without moving their head. They can be located to the sides of and behind a vehicle,